Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the stream. So I think I forgot to update the Twitch title, but it's only very slightly different today anyway. Yeah, we're going to be continuing work on my AF packet sockets package here today for Linux, which would be cool. So let's see here. Yeah, I've got this whole like pre-flight list of things I'm supposed to do. It's like continuing work versus re-implementing is the only difference pretty much, so it doesn't actually matter. But yeah, welcome back to the stream. Things are looking good on this end. Cool. So yeah, let's jump right back in. The one thing I did a little bit yesterday is I felt kind of guilty having this package have no tests, so I wanted to fix that up a little bit. Yeah, so really quick. Andrea P. Marik and The Real Monster Munchkin, thank you all so much for the follows. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, so pretty much where we left off, I have a test now here. So effectively, we have a couple of helpers. The first one I'm going to look at is test interface. So given a set of all the network interfaces on the system, I want to find one which is suitable for use with these kinds of tests. So in this particular case, I iterate through them, and if I find one that has a MAC address that is 6 characters in length, 6 bytes in length, that would be an Ethernet address. And if it's up, multicast and broadcast, we can assume it's probably, chances are pretty good it's a physical Ethernet interface. So we got that set up. And then I have this test con helper that, given that interface, if it can find one, it will bind an AF packet socket using sock raw and look for any ether type. So this is something we're going to parameterize, I'm sure, today. The tests will also degrade gracefully. So for example, if you run them without the capability capnet raw, or there's also like sudo you can do as well, it will actually skip the test. Otherwise, so, hang on one sec, Spotify. Oh, I think we're good actually. Nope, hang on one sec. Let's try. There we go. Yeah, so this test will open up an interface and a packet.con, which is the AF packet sockets implementation of netpacketcon. Shodan, welcome. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. And basically what we try to do here is we are listening for traffic for 30 seconds. So we allocate a buffer and we're trying to read one Ethernet frame from the interface within the next 30 seconds. If we get it, we do a little bit of manual decoding work basically here just to prove that it actually worked. The idea being, we could import my Ethernet sockets package, but we don't really need it just for like the one little type. The basic form of an Ethernet packet is you got the destination, the source, the ether type, and then a payload, at least at this level. So if I run, first of all, that'll get skipped, right? So then if I run, let's see here, so go test-c, sudo set cap, cap net raw plus ep on packet.test, and then I run the test, packet.test. That's hard to type, actually. Hey, how's it going, M with lots of underscores? How are you doing today? Dash test.v. Yeah, so you can see here, actually, what we ended up finding is we bound to my ENP5S0, which is my primary Ethernet interface. We received an Ethernet frame bound for, I believe, this machine from some other source. Which looks like my router, I think. Ether type is 0x0800, which is IPv4. So for the most likely common cases here, I hard-coded a couple of things so we can show that it works. And then we just print that out. So if we run this like a few times in a row, V4, come on, where's a V6? Let's go. 52. Oh, you know what? It's doing test caching, isn't it? So hang on. Test count 1. 80, 52, 80. It must be I'm connected to 1486. Yeah, maybe I'm connected to Twitch using IPv4 or something. So, but yes, this does actually show ARPs and V6 and everything as well, which is cool. Hey, how you doing, JV Pratt? Welcome to the stream. Good to see you all today. Happy Monday, folks here in the US. I am off work today on President's Day holiday, so this morning wanted to do some streaming. This afternoon, gonna go for a hike and then probably see some friends tonight. So yeah, cheers to that. And yes, this is coffee. It's still a little early for whiskey or beer or anything else. Yeah, so we are at the point now where we kind of have like, basic test coverage just to prove like the kind of it works test, but I want to keep beefing things up today and then porting more of the raw library to this library as well. I believe the one other thing I did is I added Bpf filter support because that's pretty easy. So on Linux, on Linux, the socket con type actually handles this directly. Did I do this off stream? I don't remember. So what I ended up doing in order to make this build, so for example, like in order to make this build on Windows, we're playing a little bit of a trick here. So the idea being, this is a Linux exclusive package and we only really care about making things work on Linux. But that being said, it's still nice if we can at least build on all OSs. So the rule that my socket con type has is that it's effectively a syscall and you need to guard it with build tags. So what I chose to do, we have the con and we have this underscores or this lowercase con type, and this is actually our OS specific. So first, if we go to others, we have this type here, which is just empty shims. So if you call this on Mac or Windows or anything else, you're going to get this code compiled. However, on Linux, I'm actually using a type alias to socket con. So any methods that socket con have directly, we can use con in place. So the type alias only works when we're on Linux. But I think this is pretty clever. So for example, I had to implement this shim for read from and write to because we don't have exactly matching analogs because we have to do the address conversions. But I thought this was pretty clever and it saves us a lot of effort essentially. So I chose to do this way, which works pretty good. So builds just fine on Windows now. What was the point I was getting to? Oh yeah, things like Bpf filters. So the socket con type already supports that. Let's see, I need to find a Spotify playlist, I guess. I could go for the Strokes maybe, that sounds pretty good. Let's see here. Good old DMCA, can't share stuff on stream, but we're muted, right? Yeah, okay, cool. There was one time where I was playing a little bit of music on stream and I got really nervous, but I think we're good. Yeah, some people have asked me before too, like, why don't you play music on your stream? Like, some kind of like copyright free. And I guess my philosophy is that if you are in here, maybe you either don't want music or maybe you want to listen to your own music. So I feel like it's kind of almost more polite of me to have, no music so you're able to choose the experience you want to have. Because, for example, I'm listening to the Strokes, but, maybe that's not your cup of tea. Maybe you want some metal or some pop or, whatever else. So, yeah. So let's see, Bpf filters, we have a configuration now. We added an option so that if you want to, you can specify an assembled Bpf filter in the config and we will actually apply this for you. If the filter is valid, once you've already compiled it using the XNet Bpf package, we can apply it before we bind the socket, which means that you have the file descriptor, you bind the Bpf filter, you bind the socket, and then you're only going to get traffic that matches your filter exactly. Because otherwise, if you open the socket and then wait and then call set Bpf, you might get some other packets instead. So I guess it kind of makes me wonder the utility of this, right? So for example, we support the high-level set Bpf method as well, but I feel like if you're going to apply a filter, you probably always want it for the lifetime of the entire connection. So maybe it's a little silly to support both, but this is more of like a library package. I'm not going to assume the user use case here. Yeah, so basically I was just kind of trying to work towards parity with my existing raw package. We had started a pull request to essentially swap out the underlying functionality. We'll get back to that today. Let's see here. Stash pop. What was I doing? Oh, build tags. Okay. So MDL packet, right? And this doesn't even build. Yeah, we're still working on it. Okay, so I think probably what I want to do today is keep adding stuff that the raw package needs, because we're going to swap out the entire Linux implementation of AF packet for this new packet package instead. Hang on one sec. I've got a hair. Oh, it's super annoying. You get like hairs underneath your glasses or something. We are going to swap out the underlying implementation. I kind of had some syscall stuff in here before, like a syscall interface of sorts, and the packet package, ultimately my underlying socket package, do this job a lot better. So we're going to keep swapping things out, basically make it so that people who are still using raw are going to get a transparent upgrade for free, assuming they pull a new version. And otherwise, I recommend new folks go straight to the packet package. If you're working exclusively on Linux, the packet package is the correct way to go. And for reference, so we'll be opening stuff up today too, but I also do have ! project. So that shows what we're working on today. This GitHub repository in particular. QPRXR, welcome to the stream. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. We are 730 followers apparently. That's pretty cool. I appreciate folks who want to want to say hi, want to keep coming back to the stream, that's great, you know, so certainly appreciate that. Let's see here. Dan Salt, thank you for the follow as well. Did you know that you can click that follow button and you will, well, it's like, so by default, I think you get a notification when I go live, which frankly may be annoying. I don't go live that often, but yeah, turn that on, turn that off, whatever you like. But the follow thing does show you like when I'm online, so it's a good feature. Let's see here. Yep, so we actually have support for this now. So was I doing a local replace? No, I was not. I think for the time being, we're going to leave it like that on this branch, md layer packet, local replace with this directory because we can iterate a lot more quickly this way. Let's see here. So I added support for the filter. So packet config, filter, config filter. So propagate, matching options. So let's see here. This package has a couple of weird things. This Linux sock dgram. Yeah, so I think I actually already support that, don't I? Yeah. Config Linux sock dgram. Packet config. Yeah. So we do swap in the correct type here, whether it's raw or datagram. Now we obey the filter as well, so that's good. We need to get rid of the set Bpf. Yeah, this code, like, so actually what's funny here is I wrote this way back, right? There's a panic here. So if the filter has 0 elements and you access this, like I think this just explodes actually at the moment. So kind of silly. We're going to fix that right now by just getting rid of it. So PC set Bpf. There we go. Because the underlying, so this type actually, here we go. Socket con, yeah, so we can't point to the first instruction in the array if no instructions are present, so we return an e-inval, which is basically the closest analog I can think of. So my socket package basically is the syscall abstraction that handles all of the really annoying stuff like the runtime network polar, asynchronous I/O. It handles, let me show you. Oh, wrong package. Let's open up a third VS Code window, I suppose. Right? What's this do? Oh, that's wrong. When I was working on CI, I was confused which repo I was in. So this package does a lot of hard work for you, including, let's see, where is it? Con.go. So first of all, this is rough, getting the socket call right along with asynchronous I/O and possibly preemptible Go routines and different kernel versions. This is hard. And then what I was really looking for today was connect. Yeah, this was a bit of an adventure. So basically with non-blocking connect, what you do is the very first call to it, you say connect, and then the runtime network polar is going to eventually wake us up again. So for subsequent calls, we have to check and see if we actually connected by checking for SO error. If SO error is non-zero, we return the error immediately. But if it is 0, according to the internal poll code in the standard library, we have to check to make sure we actually got connected to something. Otherwise, we have to try again. So using my library, you don't have to care about any of this. So if you're building like a low-level like sockets package, like I highly recommend using this. I suspect that not many people in the ecosystem are, but I put a lot of work into it, so. Cool. So continuing on, I really just want to get rid of this. The Bpf direction thing, BSD, but this cumulative stats thing, this was a mistake on my part. Continue accumulating. I honestly wonder if I could just rip this out and if anybody would notice, but I suspect I should probably leave it alone and try and emulate it at least. The packet package will not support it. I'm not going to play that game. Let's see here. So 124. We need to swap out a couple more syscalls, I think. Yep. So promiscuous mode and the packet statistics. So cool enough. Those are all pretty easy. So I want to say, hang on, do I support this already? PC set sock opt. I do. Packet mrec Unix sol packet. Membership, mrec, right? Something like that. PacketCon has no p.c. Maybe the socket package doesn't support this yet. Maybe I have to. So we're going to get to the point here today where we're working in 3 separate packages to add things at the right layer. It's going to be a bit of an adventure, I suppose. P.C is a packet.con. So, oh, we're in the raw library right now, aren't we? Okay. So we're going to want to add promiscuous mode support. That's a totally reasonable thing. We are in the packet library again now. Yeah, this will get a little confusing probably, gang. Bear with me. So first of all, set promiscuous. Enables or disables promiscuous mode on the interface, allowing it to receive traffic that is not addressed to the interface. On the con, allowing it to receive traffic that is not destined, not addressed to the con's network interface. I think perhaps slightly more clear that way. So return C op error op set sock opt set Bpf. I think probably I want to generalize these to set sock opt. Probably makes the most sense. So set sock opt. We kind of do our best to convey the same meanings as like the standard library as far as like the syscalls and everything go, but set sock opt, cc set packet, set sock opt, packet mrec. Yes, sweet. So again, the advantage of using this underlying library is that socketcon has no field or method. All right. I think probably what make the most sense actually is to try and get 2 different kind of things going here. So we're gonna have. Do I want 2 VS Code? Well, first of all, let's close this one. We don't need that anymore. So the packet library. Let's go back to the socket library for now. So. The problem is with working in Twitch mode is that I've got the fonts and everything zoomed way in, and I'm used to having all 3 of my monitors to work on, so it's like normally I would just open up like, 3 separate VS Code panes or something for the projects, but I try to keep it more simple on stream because we can only see, you all can only see 1/3 of what I'm able to see. So let's see here. I don't think we have it implemented then maybe. So fprog, tpacket stats, maybe we don't, okay. So basically what we're going to do here, sock fprog, get sock opt, set sock opt packet mrec. So set sock opt fprog, set sock opt packet, okay. Unix packet mrec, right, values. It reps set sock opt 2 for Unix packet mrec values. Okay, so let's see here. Level opt int mrec. So mrec. This library kind of tries to get out of your way. Basically what it does is it exposes the syscalls with like things like, retries on interrupts and stuff like that. But otherwise, like, you're still responsible for populating this all properly. So once we expose this, I think probably what makes sense too is we'll do another. Why is my go mod? Shouldn't these all be in the same block, right? I'm not sure why the tool is formatted that way. Really quick, so we're in the packet library. Go mod tidy. So net is back, but the indirects are, okay, yeah, I don't understand why. Yeah. Anyway. How size is your monitor? What size? Yeah, I gotcha. I'm running Dell. Let's see here. So Dell 27-inch 4K. So Dell 27-inch 4K. Is it the U2718Q? Is that what I'm running? I think it's these. Yeah, I believe it's this monitor right here. This is not the price I paid. It must be discontinued. But yeah, it's nice. I've had really good luck with Dell Ultra Sharp monitors in the past, so I upgraded from 3 24-inch 1920 by 1200 to 3 27-inch 4Ks, and it's massive. But actually, if I do right, Yeah, so I've got a blog because I ended up writing this up because lots of people ask questions. So the computer, let's see here. Peripherals, I am running, yeah, UltraSharp U2718Q. Actually, one of them ended up dying, so I have a slightly different model here on the right, but it's effectively the same. Like it's, functionally it's the same panel. It's just like I think it's one revision newer, because I had an issue with backlight bleed on one of them, which may have just happened during shipping. It happens, but Dell made it right, so I'm not too worried. Does it use 2 display imports? No, so I'm running 1 to each. Actually, I have a diagram up here too. The diagram, there we go. So the monitors are each connected with, let's see, block. So DisplayPort is box. Yeah, so I think I'm running DisplayPort outputs for all of these because my GPU is an AMD workstation GPU that has only DisplayPort outputs. So no HDMI, single DisplayPort connection from my WX5100. So yeah, this is the one I've got. So four DisplayPort inputs or outputs because I wanted AMD. I didn't care about gaming. I wanted open source drivers and I wanted a full size card with full size ports. So yeah, works great. And in fact, I think, yeah, it's got even like the sensor support and everything too, right? So yeah, AMD GPUs, you can see, for example, like the current temperature, the power draw, fan RPMs, like so. Perks of using open source drivers, So big fan. I've had a really good experience with it. I believe now they have new RDNA 2 workstation GPUs, so I guess next time I do a build, I might consider upgrading to one of those, but this works totally fine. And actually for light gaming, like for example, my friends and I screw around and play like Minecraft, right? It's been totally fine as well. So sockets. We'll do a local replace, so this is a replace. Sorry, not a require. Line 132, we broke it. Oh, right. So I'm going to need to... Yeah, basically I'm going to have to shim this. I'm going to put this code in, but I'm going to have to put it behind build tags, ultimately. Set socket packet mrec with the same arguments. SOL packet, the membership value, and then ultimately the mrec itself. Right. So build. SocketCon has no field, but it does have set sockopt. Oh, did I spell that wrong? No. Okay. So the convention I was using in the new library is instead of like set sockopt with 2 capital S's, I end up using set sockopt with 1 capital S because that's the convention the Go standard library uses for syscalls. You use the LG5K with 2 display ports inputs under Linux. You can see a contrasting color difference. Interesting. Is that because does a 5K display require 2 DisplayPort connections to drive, or are you mentioning like there's like a difference between like Windows and Linux, for example? I'm just curious. I've heard people having pretty mixed success with anything above 4Ks, and to be honest, like I would rather have 3 monitors of all good resolution than 1 with like a massive resolution. So it seems like, for example, things like ultra wides and 8K displays are still kind of exotic. So at least on Linux, I imagine. So I was pretty happy just to go with 4Ks, and frankly, with 27-inch 4Ks, like I can't see myself like ever really needing to go beyond this. But I suppose we'll see. I have considered getting a 4th monitor before because my GPU would drive 4, but I don't really know what I would do with it because like already, my monitors are huge on my desk. It's it would be difficult to justify a 4th one, and I guess I don't know what I do. A second vertical monitor, like 2 terminals, but it's already kind of hard to look all the way up at the vertical monitor over here. So decisions, lots of decisions to make. The interface index. Cool. But the problem is this is all XSys Unix, so we do have to put this behind build tags. So it's going to have to go in the packet Linux file, actually. So we'll end up making a method because, set promiscuous. Yeah, I don't think it makes sense to add that in the socket package directly because I don't know if set promiscuous applies to any other type of socket other than packet sockets. And if it's just for packet sockets, then I don't want to expose a high-level helper. in that package. Just kind of like a layering violation a little bit. So con set promiscuous. That's going to be a Boolean error. Let's see here. So, and then this is just going to call into the shim. So return c dot. This is kind of hard. Okay. Return c dot. Hang on, does that work? No, it does not. Hang on. C dot set promiscuous b. Right, that's that. That compiles. That's good. So clean up a bit. This enables or disables promiscuous mode. I guess probably what I will do is instead of calling this b, I'll call this enable. Allowing it to receive traffic that is not addressed to the cons network interface. Cons network interface. Yeah, I suppose that makes sense. Coffee's good, man. Much needed. How are you all doing today? Everybody having a good Monday morning? I imagine some folks are at work, especially folks in like Europe and such. But thanks for hanging out. Certainly appreciate it. Yeah, I love doing open source stuff, and if I can do it on stream, I feel like it's cool because I can share my thought process and some of the ways that I solve problems with all of you all as well, which I think is a lot of fun, you know. So promiscuous mode, and we're going to need to fix this. We're going to need a shim on Windows and such. I'm watching this instead of The Price is Right. Hey, what's up, Tommy? Good to see you. Yeah, twitch.tv/mdlayer would recommend over The Price is Right. Return error unimplemented. So kind of the convention we've got going on here is for some of these methods, for example, like set promiscuous, like, you know, I still want access to like the op error helper and such. So if the socket con doesn't expose it directly, I add the method on the capital C con. If the socket con does expose it, the type alias gets all the lowercase c methods. And then for the shims here, you can see, you know, the capital C methods and the lowercase c methods. So it's just a matter of maintaining parity, making sure this all still builds on Linux as well, because I feel like that's just more polite from a user perspective, you know. Set promiscuous wraps the set sockopt to for the Unix packet mr promisc option. Yep. So what are the socket options for packet sockets? I suppose we should take a look, huh? So man7 packet. The one that we have in the library right now. Yeah, here we go. So physical layer multicasting and promiscuous mode. Adds a binding, drops a binding, packet mrec. The interface index. The type of action to perform is the membership. Type is mr promisc. Multicast. All multi. Interesting. Receive all multicast. So there's a whole bunch of options here. Like, this is going to be a big interface, but right now I'm just copying what we had in the raw package. So it's possible that it makes sense to add all these other things as well. Packet fan out, packet loss, reserve, rings. Oh yeah, things like the packet rings we can use for, I believe, zero copy, which would be pretty cool to try and support that. I'm not sure if it's going to be compatible with the existing NetPacketCon APIs, because I think those do receive a buffer from the user. We'll find out. If we can do things like zero copy for free, we totally will. That'll be fun to investigate. Let's see here. I'm going to call this enable because it's just more clear this way. And the way I would write that these days is, let's see here. We'll invert this for ease of reading, because I don't like if not enable. I just prefer if enable. It's just slightly more clear, I feel like. So we drop or add, set promiscuous, packet mrec, and then we got the args down here, right? So cool. We'll do this. Just that's a long line. Okay. Oh yeah, so we're at the point where we're gonna keep we're gonna mess up our Go mods and stuff a little bit because we're doing local replaces, but I can at least do partial adds, right? So set sock packet mrec. We have set sock op 2 for Unix packet mrec values. Set sock opt error. Let's see here. We copied and pasted this, so it should all be the same roughly, but yeah. Okay, that looks good. So add con set sock opt packet mrec. And we'll end up, probably what we'll do today is we'll keep iterating a little bit and we'll end up tagging new releases of things like the socket library and stuff like that too. But for the time being, let's see here. We're not going to update the Go mod yet. Well, I guess we would have to get it to compile, won't we? Shoot. Well, I suppose we can stage things up locally and then bump the Go mod at the end. Would make sense. So set promiscuous enables or disables the promiscuous mode on the con, allowing it to receive traffic that is not addressed to the con's network interface. Wrap set sock op 2 for the Unix packet mr promisc option. Yep, easy enough. So we'll take all the Go files. We're gonna leave the Go mod alone right now because we're still messing with it a little bit. So packet add con set promiscuous method. And then since we're doing a local replace again, we can jump back to the raw package. So I think probably what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have this big terminal, a smaller terminal for socket, and a smaller terminal for raw because we're working at 3 different repos here, which is a bit of a hassle. What are you going to do, I suppose? PC set promiscuous. Yeah. And we'll rename this to enable as well, just for clarity. Raw others, yeah, this is not implemented. I tried to do my best to make it so that things made sense on other. Oh, here we go. Not Darwin, not Dragonfly, FreeBSD, Linux, NetBSD. Yeah. I tried to do my best to make it so that like this library worked in other OSs, but coming on to a Matt Stream Suite deal. Hey, what's up, Dominic? Good to see you. People actually added support for the BSD stuff here, and I think I might have done it first, but people have improved upon it. I just feel like I'm not qualified to maintain this. Like, I don't know enough about BSD. I don't use BSD, so I'm kind of going to leave this a little bit left for dead, unfortunately, and encourage people, to BSD. So, for example, hang on one sec. Github.com, MD layer raw. Isn't it way too early? Well, so today I'm off work, so it is 11:15 a.m. here. So no, we're good. I've had an issue open for quite a while. So for example, Windows support 2016, 0 copy, BSD runtime, network polar, help wanted. Like, I don't think very many people are using this on BSD, to be honest. So I'm going to do my best, but it's just not going to be a priority, So this builds now. Set packet mrec. Let's see here. Socket con has no method. It's going to get confusing switching between 3 repos today, but that's what we're doing. Packet con raw set promiscuous. Yeah, that's correct, right? Packet Linux set sock opt. Socket con has no option. Oh, you know what? I think I have to replace both in this repo, actually. So in addition to replacing the packet library, I have to replace the socket library too, because this is consuming both. So socket. This is going to be, again, a little goofy, especially the Go mod stuff today, but we'll make progress on it. 119 gets sock opt T packet stats. Do I support that? I don't remember. So we have, let's see. the socket library would be the place to look. So T packet stats, Unix packet statistics. So I think we support at least some of that. Yeah. T packet stats v3. Packets drops, freeze, queue, count, all uint32s. Is there any reason to support both? I mean, the socket library, so hang on. Actually, this was contributed by the folks from Subspace, I believe. MD layer socket. So let's see here. I believe that this was contributed by, yeah, here we go. Send to, receive from, and then the stats. So I suppose I find myself wondering, what is the purpose of exposing? Well, I guess I don't mind if the socket library can expose both, that's fine. From the packet library perspective, I don't think exposing both makes sense. I think that probably we try v3 first, and then we fall back, I guess. That seems to be the correct way. So let's look at the man page again. Man 7 packet. Let's see here. So T packet stats, right? Do we have to go to the man 7 socket probably for the socket options? So what's the packet statistics? Am I on the wrong man 2 set sock opt or man 2 get sock opt maybe? So man 2 get sock opt packet statistics. Okay, where the hell are these? So Linux packet statistics. I don't know which man page these are in, so packet second. Oh, hang on. Packet statistics. Oh. Man 7 packet. Why did I just miss it? 7 packet stats. Ah, okay, maybe I typed it wrong. Okay. Let's see here. Structure differs when using a ring of variant T packet v3. So the code for this, we get sock out T packet stats v3 packet stats. Okay, so what is the Unix library doing here? So Unix, ultimately we've got all these different kind of layers in play. So get sock opt packet stats. Here we go. Get sock opt, fd level opt int. So it's making the same calls, just passing a different structure? Is that it? I feel like there should be a tpacket v3. What is a tpacket v3? I have no idea. Tpacket stats v3. Okay, let's go to the Linux kernel source, I guess, here. What is the difference between the structs? I think that there's a difference between the structs because the v3 has a new field, but we're trying to figure out why. So tpacket stats, that's the Go syntax, that's not gonna work. Packet statistics. Okay, so here we go. Tpacket stats v3. So what places are they used and what's the difference? If version equals v3, oh, so they both call the same ioctl, so it would seem to me there's effectively no reason to call the original one at this point. Right? I mean, just using v3 is okay for our case. Yeah, I think you're right. The folks from Subspace, I'm not sure if Blaine is here today, but one of Blaine's coworkers added this, and I'm curious why they needed both, I guess. But I think at least doing v3 by default and maybe trying a fallback to the other one might be reasonable. Either way, we're going to expose a higher level interface here. So let's see here. So we will start by, we're going to copy kind of what the raw library is doing, but we're going to change directions a little bit. So stats. Only supported on Linux at this time. Yikes. So for our high-level interface, cross-platform, or stats contain statistics about a con. So what's the freeze queue count thing? I want to figure that out. Packet stats v3. Freeze queue count. Like you need to tell me what this is, kernel. I need to understand. Freeze queue count equals 0. Freeze queue count. Okay, freeze queue. Queue freeze logic. Queue freeze logic. So this is some low-level detail that I don't understand, but the queue is, so number of times the queue is frozen, number of times the receive queue is frozen. That seems reasonable, so freeze queue. I should not, so these are uint32s from the kernel, so we're probably going to expose them as uint32s as well. Freeze queue. So packets drops. Packets drops freeze queue count. The total number of times that a receive queue is frozen. I can't, with my limited knowledge, I don't think I can provide better documentation than that. 32. Maybe be 0 if the Linux kernel is not new enough to support tpacket v3 statistics. Because we're gonna try the v3 version first, and then we're going to try the v3 version first, and then we are going to fall back to the not v3, I think. Statistics about a con reported by the Linux kernel. C stats. I kind of like the one-liner syntax for some of these really small ones, but I'll leave it alone, I suppose. Well, this is really small. Statistics about the con from the Linux kernel. So this is going to be called packet.stats, tpacket. That seems like a reasonable struct name. Okay, so we need to mirror this again in the high-level interface here. So stats nil error unimplemented. So we are in the packet library again. We're going to build. Yep. Okay, so we got the cross-platform shim right. So now we need to figure out the Linux code, which is the v3, v2 fallback thing. Okay, so stats wraps get sock opt 2 for tpacket stats. Tpacket stats types C con stats error. Yeah, so we'll try v3 first. So c get v3 const level equals unix dot, what's the level? I forget. SOL packet. FD level name, FD level name. You got a test for this? These are not. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna try v3 first. Oh shoot, didn't the raw library have this actually? So here we go. So level equals that, and then name equals that. Level name. So we have the packets, stats, packets. The drops is stats drops. And then the freeze queue count is stats dot freeze queue count. Nil. First, try to fetch v3 statistics first. They contain more information, more detailed information. There was an error fetching v3 stats. Try to fallback. Right, I feel like that's totally reasonable. So stats error, cc get sock opt. What's going on, Eucnus? Welcome to the stream. Level name. It's kind of funny because we're actually working on 3 different projects at once right now a little bit. So, but yeah, the packet project is the primary goal here for sure. So, I need to wrap these with the proper op error too. So, see op error, op get sock opt actually is what this is. So. Get sock opt. Okay. So I just lost where I was. Oh, I wasn't even paying attention. Okay, get sock opt. Let's see here. So same convention as before. We wrap the error. Otherwise, we pick this apart. Freeze queue count is not present. Okay, this looks pretty good. So let's see here. Error handling looks correct to me. Generally, we get to do like this kind of like one-shot error handling return because the op error method will wrap everything we need. But since here we have to unpack these structs for a cross-platform interface, or an interface that compiles on other platforms, rather, it's not technically cross-platform because this only works on Linux, but I want to make it so that you can use higher level types with better names, like this freeze underscore queue count. This is gross. We're exposing something much more idiomatic. Go. Okay. v3 statistics first. They contain more detailed information. Yeah, that should be good, I would think. Let's see here. So this builds. And in fact, this is actually a good case for, we can just add some test coverage here as well. So let's see here. So once we actually fetch something, we can just drop the stats down as well. You know, would make sense because that's something easy. Or I suppose we could do like a 0 value stats for now and then always incorporate more later. Because the packet won't actually be, excuse me, the packet won't actually be, or the socket won't actually be bound. But let's see. I guess that the socket would always be bound if we call listen, so we're always going to be receiving stats. So it's not like a 0 value necessarily makes sense for the error. So I suppose what we can do though is just verify that we got some sort of stats. Let's see here. Received some data. Assume we have at least some stats were populated. Stats packets equals 0, t fatal let's see here. Packet stats indicated 0 received packets. Seems reasonable to me. Let's see here. So interface, and then we're going to have the stats. So we'll have the packets, drops, freeze, queue, count. Just to print it out to the screen. That's something helpful for us. So go test-c. Yeah. So for those who weren't here earlier, in order to test this, we actually need elevated privileges. So we're building a test binary. We set the capnet raw on it, and then we run the test. Easy enough. A little annoying, but probably better than running the test with sudo. So packets 2, drops 0, freeze queue, count 0. Yep, cool. So yeah, basically like we're just verifying that the syscall kind of works, does the job, and we're getting something back from the interface because we know at this point we've already read at least one stat. So. Cool. Packet. It's kind of funny sometimes, like when my mind is just like buffering something, I just kind of get stuck in that little loop. I was just checking this out to see what kind of calls we might want to make otherwise. What else would be useful here is probably looking at the test coverage. I'm curious. So let's see here. Test-c cover, test.cover profile, cover.out, gotool HTML cover, or gotool cover, cover-html cover.out. I'm sure this is going to open in the wrong browser window, but let's try. Yeah, that popped open. Oh, I have a Twitter. Okay. Anyway. Yep. Give me just one sec. Let's see here. I've got a couple of background Twitter things open, I guess, or like a file. Hang on. So the guest profile I do want open, but I don't want this background random Twitter tab or... Open a new window? Oh no, this is something else I'd forgotten about. Okay. Anyway, we'll come back, show you all. Okay. Sorry about that. Hazards of streaming, right? So it's kind of annoying, I guess, like with VS Code, I could probably configure the built-in stuff for test coverage with privileged execution or in some sort, but for this project, basically, I'm running gotool cover, showing the coverage profile. We get a listen here. Let's see here, local address, read from, deadline, stats, seems to be working pretty cool. There's definitely more we can cover with this too. Read from, yeah, v3 stats work just fine. Cool. All right, I'm gonna go refill my water. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so yeah, I guess looking back at this now, I do want to document actually some of the behaviors here. So for example, like when you read these stats, I think they get reset. So that would be something that would be worth noting, I suppose. Let's see. So I need to Probably, yeah, verify the kernel behaviors here, like what's going to happen when you read these stats. So let's look back at the man page, packet statistics, right? Receiving them resets the internal counters. Yeah, so that is something that we do want to note. Let's see here. Hi there, how's it going? B13T0, Beato? The Linux kernel. Note, let's see here. Note that calling stats will fetch the buffered statistics. Let's see here. We'll reset the kernel's internal counters. Yeah, you're right. Nice. Calling stats will reset the kernel's internal counters. So if you want to maintain cumulative statistics by polling stats over time, you must do so in your calling code. How's your day going? Yeah, it's going really well. I'm having a good time. It's been a great weekend. Got a ton done around the house and everything. I streamed on Saturday as well. Started work on this, and then now I'm working on this again today. So having a good time. President's Day here in the U.S. I'm thankful for the day off for sure. Yeah, and I think actually, let's see here. I will also have a day off coming up. I'm thankful. Planet Scale is an awesome place to work for sure. Let's see here. I might be streaming, I guess probably not next weekend, but maybe in a couple weekends. Might be the next stream, I think, at this point. It's going to depend on a couple of different things, but... So Go packet internally calculates cumulative. Yeah, that's what my raw package does too, but I don't like that. I think that was a mistake, and I think that probably what I'm going to do is just like leave this as is and say that you have to do that yourself, because it just feels weird to try to fight against the kernel APIs. I'd rather expose like a more thin layer and leave that decision up to the caller, you know? Calling stats will reset the kernel's internal counters for this con. If you want to maintain cumulative statistics by polling stats over time, you must do so in your calling code. I feel like that's a completely reasonable thing. The raw package also does the internal accumulation, but yeah. Sounds cool. You're new here. Yeah. Welcome to the stream. Saw your first time chat. Yeah. I'm MD Layer Matt. I do mostly Go programming, sometimes some Rust. I like things like networking, Linux. Yeah. Welcome to the stream. Do I have? Let's see here. Does that work? This works though. Yeah, so I got a whole bunch of links to like stuff I've worked on, Twitter, stuff like that. So you know, welcome to the stream. Happy to have you here. You know. Linux kernel. Note that calling stats will reset the kernel's internal counters for this con. If you want to maintain cumulative statistics by polling stats over time, you must do so in your calling code. Yep. Yeah, no problem. I feel like that's a completely reasonable thing to do. Just makes me less stuff for me to maintain. I may change my mind, I suppose, but I kind of regretted doing this in the raw package, so I'd rather keep it simple. Received some data, assume some stats were populated. Yep. Star.go. Packet, add con.stats method. Okay. Back to the raw library. So packet con has no field S. Let's see here. 119. Oh, right, yeah. So now in the raw library, we have to shim over this again, kind of. So stats error PC get PC stats. You saw my ETH tool package and you thought it was for Ethereum. Terrible 2022 word associations. Yeah, no, I'm not a blockchain person. Oh God. Yeah, not my cup of tea, I suppose. Let's see here. packet stats. Packet stats. Let's see here. That library. This is where, let's see here. ETH tool, what about Doge tool? No cumulative, yeah, we're gonna have to cast up packets drops. Yeah, this is, feels weird, Packet.stats, it is declared, isn't it? Didn't I just add that? Or is this just, go please being a little hung up? Oh, it's builds, so it's just go please. Okay. Color wants cumulative, so add with the internal. Yeah. Yeah. It's yeah. Something I don't love, but is what it is. Go please getting confused. Well, I never. Yeah, it gets confused, I guess, when you're doing like local Go mod replaces and stuff. Let's see. Oh, wow. So this actually builds now? Did we totally port this over? Read from, do the conversions, write to, do the conversions, cumulative stats. I think we might be totally converted at this point, possibly. Yeah. What's still importing Unix in this file? Oh, e-inval. I see. That's fine. If the address type is invalid, cool. So, oh gosh. These tests are useless. I wrote them. They are useless. They swap out the syscall implementation for this no-op stuff. They effectively do nothing. I am going to replace them with a simple it works test, kind of like the packet package, and I think that's going to be that. Let's see here. So I think we're at the point now where we can actually fix our Go mods and get back and commit everything. So the socket library is already pushed. We can tag a new release, I suppose. What did we add to the socket library? Packet mrec. Let's see here. The best tester users, yeah, right. This would be probably a 0.2.1 would be reasonable, I think, for something like this. So let's see here. Zero, 2, 1. I feel like, you know, so when I have this changelog here, these commit links, I feel like I can drop this entire prefix for like, you know, something like this, but I'm not totally sure. We should play with that though, because it would be nice to clean these up just a little bit more. Let's see here. So socketcon as a new set sock opt packet mrec method for wrapping set sock opt to for packet. Let's see here. AF packet socket options. Keep in mind that not everyone reading Markdown will do so on GitHub. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I tend to read Markdown on GitHub where I can, but yeah, I just like to trim this a bit. But yeah, that's actually a very fair point. I see what you're saying. Okay. That's that. So change log release v0.2.1. And then we try to tag that. Git tag. Shoot. Git tag. I need like a script for this because I do this all the time. sm v0.2.1 v0.2.1 git push tags. And then we go to the socket library and we actually do the GitHub release thing because that notifies people. Doesn't Markdown support footnote style URLs so you can specify the URL at the bottom of the document, or is that only useful in internal? Is that only useful in markup languages? I think Markdown does support that. I don't know how. I'm not familiar with the syntax, I suppose, but yes, I believe it does support that. v1.0.0.1. GitHub has a lot of magical stuff. You think you can just paste in the commit hash? I don't even know if you need to format it as a link. Yeah, you might be right about that, actually. I'm not totally sure, but... set socket packet mrec. Yep. Cool. Okay, so I believe we are done working on the socket package for now, so I'm going to close that. And then we go to the packet package here. We get rid of our local mod replace, and we're going to pull socket at 021. Not that one. Local replace, we're going to pull 021, and then we're going to build. Tidy, do it. Is that, it's trying to go through the module proxy, or should I specify the direct? Okay, it did work. So 021, cool. So go mod bump github.com mdlayer socket at v021. Okay. Before we, I probably should make sure the tests actually pass and all this stuff. Okay, let's clean up a little bit. So we'll go here next. So we'll check the actions and make sure things are all good to go. Okay, that's good. This should also work, I would imagine. The Linux test, this is the one that actually matters because this is the one that does the Ethernet test we were talking about effectively. So yeah, you got a packet, you didn't drop any, freeze queue count 0. Yeah, good to go. Cool, so both of these build, which is good. I haven't tagged a release for this yet. I suppose I potentially could. Maybe once the raw package lands it, I'll tag like an 010 or something. I'm trying to be better about tagging stuff these days because people do appreciate it, it seems like, and especially it gives you more confidence, I guess, than just like a random git hash. And I intend for this library to be seriously used, much like the other ones, so I feel pretty good about it. I guess, in fact, I could probably tag like a 0.9 immediately because all of the hard work is done by the socket package underneath. So... cool. Yeah, so we're at the point now where we need to pull a newer version of this. So proxy equals direct, go get github.com mdlayer packet at latest. I'm not going to say it out loud again, but this is what we want. That was a funny moment on stream the other day. It's pretty embarrassing. Hey, how's it going, Mark? Hey, yo, Matt, how's it going? Really well. I'm doing super good. I've had a ton of fun working on this stuff. I think we're getting to the point now where we're going to land this and we're going to get rid of a whole bunch of old code in the raw package, which is great because that package is a mess and we're going to try and clean it up. I wrote it. I have the right to say it's a mess. You know? Nice. Yeah, I agree. Feels good. Let's see here. So go build. Yeah, socket 021, that's correct. Okay. Yeah, so we're getting rid of a whole bunch of other junk. All of the old code basically just gets replaced by wrappers. Good deal. Go.mod. github.com mdlayer packet at head. Yep, we're going to push this, and then we're going to land the pull request, I think. So mdlayer raw. Oh, I intend to do a couple different commits here, but that's okay. It's not a big deal, I suppose. Nice diff, though. I mean, the underlying socket library handles, basically all the tough stuff for us, which is nice. So. Oh, shoot, source hut. Yeah, I gotta get GitHub Actions over on this branch, over on this repo, too. I was using source hut for a while, and it is useful for things like BSD builds, but Actions are just so much lower touch for your regular repos. We're going to copy all of the package workflows into this one as well. So packet.github here, because those are basically the perfect building block for this. So Linux test on 117, tests run on Linux only. Apply capabilities, we can verify. We actually use real AF packet sockets. Yep, that makes sense. These are both going to be raw.test because this package is a little different. Static analysis, static check, raw Linux test. Yeah, that entire test file is going away. We're going to wipe the floor with it. I don't think we need enum check in this repo, so I'm not going to install it. It's definitely, it's the kind of thing I like to standardize and using, but I just can't think of any reason I would need it here, so perhaps it's just not necessary. That's a really cool one, by the way. Test Ubuntu and Mac. We just want to make sure this builds. Actually, shoot, it does work on. So yeah, I think this actually would work on Mac. I'm terrible. You've realized that I'm terrible advertising for static check. My code's too good and never finds anything. Yeah, I've been around the block a few times, you know. It will sometimes, but I think that in general, I have internalized basically everything that like vet, lint, static check will tell you. So, and I tend to be very picky and very consistent with my code. Like something I take really seriously is like software craftsmanship. And maybe that's like a weird thing to say, but I never want to just do the bare minimum. Like I am very serious about like writing code in a consistent way, commits in a consistent way, trying to be predictable. And I think frankly, that's just something that a lot of people don't do. So in my particular case, yeah, maybe it's not as useful, but I take it quite seriously. So let's go build. Cool. Package doesn't support Windows. We want to verify everything builds properly. Yeah. So I think all these actions are effectively perfect as is. And I think we're actually going to copy, we're more or less going to copy the tests from the packet repo as well. Yeah, you know, I wish that, I was mentioning this on stream the other day, but like honestly, I wish I got more code review feedback because I think that there are times where like I could be still learning, doing stuff better. I'm trying to get a coworker. If things ever work out, I'm trying to get an old coworker who I thought gave really good reviews, a job at Planet Scale as well, because I want to work with him again because he forced me to consider the consequences of like everything I was writing, and that was great. So I miss having someone who would really, really like push me to be better, you know. But that's just like, you know, my I'm not saying my current teammates don't, because like I've learned a lot in different ways. But that being said, like, you know, this particular person was really good at that. Good luck. Yeah, it's tough, you know. Yeah, we're gonna copy effectively this code. Let's see here. So raw Linux test.go. So everything in here that is packet is going to place with raw. So okay, so raw listen on an interface. Oh, it's raw listen packet, isn't it? Interface proto config. Yep. Okay, so let's go see if this builds and stuff. So go test -c. Shoot, I just lost that. Shoot. Okay. Sudo set cap net raw plus ep./raw.test. No, don't want to run sudo. Want to verify it doesn't. So -test.v test.count1. Freeze queue count. Oh, that's right. Freeze queue count doesn't exist because it's not exposed in this library yet, so we'll remove that for now. We're just going for parity at the moment. Okay. Sweet. So the raw package appears to work, backed by the packet package, which is good. Testcon listen packet, I guess, would be the for this one. These tests are effectively a copy paste of delayer packet. Tests, but because raw is now backed by, because raw, is it raw packet con? Is that the type, or is it raw con? Is raw con. It is now backed by packet con on Linux. Let's see here. This locks in the behaviors and verifies the same functionality for existing users of package raw who may not ever migrate to the new package. Yep. Good deal. Let's see here. So we're getting rid of a whole bunch of useless tests, which is great. Yeah, loving this. Replace, let's see here, replace tests with real AF packet test. Good deal. Okay, so we should get some GitHub Actions coming up here too, which is gonna be great. Yep, awesome. Source hut failed. OpenBSD 6.8 unknown. Yeah, I'm gonna have to clean up the BSD tests, but I suppose for the time being, we can go to like the settings. We can mark them all as like optional or something, right? So actions, or no, webhooks. Source hut. Yeah, isn't there something about like you can mark like certain, or is that just for pull request rules? I forget. Branches, branch protection rules, actions. I'm not gonna worry about it for now. $112, $117. Oh, you know, that's right. So it's kind of silly, but so for example, I'm the owner of this repo, but I'm creating a pull request. So GitHub's going to run every action twice for both push and pull. Push directly and then pull request, which seems kind of silly, but yeah, let's just make sure the Mac OS passes as well, and then we'll call it good. Cool, we're doing good, gang. Only an hour and 20 minutes into the stream, and it's like we're basically like I've accomplished the goal for today, which was to delete a lot of old code. So something that Daniel Marti had mentioned last time in the stream is that I could consider marking this module deprecated, and that would tell people to try and move over to Packet, but I don't know. I'm not sure yet how I want to do that. Okay. If this builds on Go 112 with Mac, then we're going to call it good. I'll probably update I'm going to update the readmes and stuff too, but I just want to make sure all the code builds and everything. Do the thing. Come on, Go modules. All right. I think we're looking good, gang. $15 checks, 1 in progress. Yeah, I'm going to call this good. So swap in, yep. Alrighty, we just made the first big update to raw in a very long time. And it should be much, much better now on Linux. So I am going to basically now tidy up the rest of this, make it more reasonable, and then maybe tag like, I don't know, like an 09 or something, 090. Well, actually, no. I don't know if I ever want to tag a release of this because that would encourage people to keep using it. So go back to, oh, this is still called master. Yes, we got a lot to do. This is a really old repo. This is one of my original networking packages, I think. I think this actually predates package netlink by about a year or two, even, which is kind of crazy. So first, let's do the branch rename. So if this breaks people's stuff, they'll come knocking, and hopefully, let's see here. So rename to main, and then this will provide. There we go. These commands, which just make things a little easier. Okay, so we're on main. I'm going to, I guess, honestly wipe the source hut stuff because I feel like at this point it's just, there's no reason to have it. License. So first of all, new, this is cleaner, 2022. Let's see here. I'm basically not planning on touching this stuff if I can avoid it, but I guess I'll fix the build tags at least. Do the new style build tag, you know. 116. Go build, raw. Okay, I have a static check configuration. Oh, don't flag deprecated syscall. Yeah, because they went ahead and flagged some of the stuff in syscall for Bpf filters is deprecated for XNet Bpf, but that is not actually, last I remember, that doesn't actually like work because it's not at all the same. Like the Bpf device is not the same thing as like a Bpf filter. I just never really found a bug about it, but maybe I should. Oof. Yeah, maybe I should actually. Maybe I should follow up with that. Let's see here. So so we're going to copy just a few things from this. So these couple of, let's see here. It's not a raw socket. It's, well, yeah, sockets with Ethernet frames. And go check out my blog post, which is going to be on mdlayer.com now because I used to use Medium, but I no longer do. This is an old blog for sure. Linux not liking. Oh, really? Fuck Medium so hard. Yeah, I'm really happy with my Hugo/Netlify setup these days. Let's see here. Stability. Let's see here. Let's see here. How do I say, like, you know, I'm going to deprecate this repo without deprecating it? Like, I have no intent of maintaining this repo at this point. Yeah, let's see here. I guess I could put a deprecated annotation on it, but I don't know if I want to go that hard yet. Let's see here. So first of all, unmaintained. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. This repository was one of my first, let's see here, major open source, first major Go networking libraries. And although I have updated it, for Linux, let's see here. Although I've updated it on Linux to incorporate modern Go best practices, the non-Linux functionality is effectively unmaintained. I encourage all Linux users of this package to public archive plus note. Yeah, I thought about archiving. I don't know if I'm going to archive right away. I'm going to let this sit for a little bit and then we'll see. I could put a deprecated note in the Go mod. I believe that's something that the Go tool supports now, so that could be interesting. But maybe I'll look at doing that. So I encourage all Linux users of this package to migrate to mdlayer packet. Note that you can always unarchive. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Github.com mdlayer packet, which is a modern AF packet library. Linux AF packet library, which is used modern AF exactly. it's used as the underlying, provides the underlying functionality for the Linux. I encourage all Linux users of this package to migrate to Packets, which is a modern AF packet library. I don't need to repeat Linux a whole bunch. Which provides the underlying functionality for this package using the existing raw con APIs. A thin wrapper for the existing. Is that, hang on, which is a modern AF packet library. The existing raw con APIs now call directly into the equivalent packet con APIs. Yep. When I first made sure, okay, although I have updated it on Linux to incorporate modern Go best practices, let's see here, so asynchronous IO, let's see here, synchronous IO, runtime network, polar integration. The non-Linux functionality is effectively unmaintained and does not have the same level of functionality. The non-Linux platform code is effectively unmaintained and does not have the same level of functionality. I encourage all users of this package to migrate to, which is a modern AF packet library. Yeah. Okay, GitHub workflows, go mod, MD layer raw 117. Everything here is the latest versions. I should tag a release of the packet package probably too. Would be smart. So, this song. There we go. Sometimes you get on like these playlists and it's like almost everything is great, but then you get a couple of things where it's like, oh, you just gotta skip it. Read from, write to, close, local address, deadlines, promiscuous, stats cumulative. Yeah, I mean, it's all ported, it looks like. Let's see here. So I feel like I should update the doc comment as well, because the doc comment is something else people will see. Unmaintained. Is it actually, you know, wait a sec. You're not supposed to write docs like this from like first person, are you? It's fine. I'm gonna leave it alone. I don't care enough, I guess. Which is a modern AF packet. These backticks don't work in Godoc anyway. It's a notice from the maintainer, fine to use first person. Okay, cool. You have to, let's see, the netlink library has sections in its doc comments, so I can never remember the syntax. I really wish that if they don't like the docs, they can use the replacement. Let's see here, so doc.go. Yeah, so 2 spaces I think might be a section. Aren't we landing newer like syntax for the go/doc, so you could do like light markdown or something? Because like I feel like honestly markdown is the reasonable. There is a proposal. Okay, cool. Cool. And a level of indirection can be removed by migrating to that package. but not Markdown, our own non-intrusive syntax. Interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I kind of just feel like Markdown is king, and we should just go with it. But yeah, I know there have been very mixed feelings about some of the stuff Markdown supports. At least, like, you know, use the very reduced like GitHub subset. It reads like shit in plain text. Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, this is, I don't know. Hey, what's going on, Bolt? Raw. Let's see here. Deprecate. Notes, deprecation. Data docs. Okay. Published February at latest. Whatever. You can now parse Markdown with your bare eyes, which is more than I can say for other markup languages. Yeah, me too. That's exactly it. So I feel like I'm not too bothered by it. I know Go report card is silly, but the BSD code is not formatted. Go fumped LW. There we go. Wait, really? Well, why didn't it grab the other stuff, I guess? I don't care enough. It's fine. Always remember, 2 trailing spaces force a hard line break in Markdown. It's a very good markup language. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I feel like restricted subset of Markdown is the correct option, you know? Cool. Oh yeah, the Subaru. So my home assistant, my car integration has been broken, so I was trying to follow this. Wait, why'd they close this? Messed up a rebase commit. Oh, okay. Anyway, yeah, I'll be back in just a sec. One moment. I'm gonna go get a snack, actually. I'm pretty hungry. All right, we're back. It's kind of funny because like about a week ago, I had absolutely no like food or groceries in my house, and now I have like a ridiculous amount of stuff. So it's like, oh, so many options. So You wish the RSD docs were exported to Markdown? I think there's a tool for that, actually, but I'm not totally sure. Let's see here. Let's see here. How do I... I wonder... Go module deprecation, right? So if we want to do go module deprecate. Oh, this is for go get installing. Okay. Oh, shoot. Go modules reference. Yeah, I should probably read this at some point. Deprecated. There we go. Oh, okay. Cool. You can add a deprecated comment and tag a new release. Cool. Applies to all minor versions of a module. The module is no longer supported. Oh, this is exactly what I want, actually. Cool. Although I suppose if I'm going to do that, I should probably just verify the parity is equivalent with packet and then tag 1.0 of packet like a day later. And, you know, so that way people are like, okay, v1, this is serious, you know. So let's see here. Change log unreleased. Let's see. MD layer packet. Let's see here. Oops. I'm gonna open up a second guest browser. We're gonna do this and we're gonna compare. So I feel like that's a reasonable way. Oh gosh, come on, give me the latest. I don't want this, whatever. API hasn't changed. Okay. Variables, error not implemented. Yeah, I'm not gonna export that. Don't do that stuff anymore. So yeah, actually, something that the packet sockets API does expose is there is other information you can fetch from the address structure, and I was considering exporting it. It's just that I've never had a need and nobody else has, I guess, in the past like 7-ish years. So the only config we support at the moment is filter, because this is now a constructor option, sock dgram. No cumulative stats doesn't exist. We're not going to support that. We're going to leave it up to the caller. And then Bpf direction doesn't matter either. Linux packet sockets implementation of a net packet con. So interface proto config, interface socket type protocol config. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the documentation here is not necessary. So let's see here. The protocol, which we captured and transmitted, ether type. If you're using packet sockets, like, you kind of have to have an understanding of these things anyway. So I suppose the documentation could be improved a little bit, but I'm not sure if this is necessarily useful either. So we have close, we have local address, read from, set Bpf, set deadline, set read deadline. Oh, set promiscuous is not in here. I guess, did we not pull the latest? Okay, let's verify. Publish. So we want the actual latest version. Packet at. How do we? Can't we force the Go module proxy to pick this up by, like, for example, if we do MD layer packet at latest? So like if I do like this, for example. Like, won't this actually pull it through the module proxy, so the module proxy will become aware of what's in there or something? 21st, yeah, it's still not what I want, though. I suppose I could do I could fetch this, like, sudo semver directly, right? So just want to compare, man. Let's see here. So yeah, this is correct. Okay. 222 published. Okay, so it's just straight up lying to me now. Because I added set permiss. Oh, there it is. Weird. Okay. Package doc supports @main. Oh, okay. I did not know that. Okay. So, yeah, so we have deadline, promiscuous, read deadline, write deadline, stats, which is different, but we reset the kernel's internal counters for this con. If you want to maintain cumulative statistics by polling stats over time, you must do so in your calling code. Yep. syscallcon, which we actually never added to this package because they get predated syscallcon. It is useful though. And then write to. So packets drops, freeze queue count. Yeah. As far as I can tell, I think these are effectively these are functionally equivalent. Like, you know, the raw package is already backed by this anyway, so I feel like there's no harm in like tagging 090 and calling it deprecated or something, you know. Or I guess since raw has never had a tag, do I tag like 010 and call it deprecated? Like, don't use this, even though it's been around for 7 years. 010, you know, I don't know. I'm not sure. But actually, so if we do a tag, right, like, won't that cause people's code to like upgrade to it? So then they will see the deprecation notice. So that's probably a good idea. So let's see here. And if somebody complains that, you know, we deprecated this without supporting BSD, then I'll tell them they're welcome to write a BSD package, because like I don't have the time or energy, you know. Deprecated. Use github.com mdlayer packet on Linux instead. Pay me. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I'll run a new package and modernize it, but you need to pay me and show me how to do all that stuff on BSD as well. I guess maybe in theory it's not as hard as I think, because the socket library I have would already do the hard stuff. But I don't understand a lot of this well enough to feel good about maintaining it. Like, this is, you know. Yeah, I just don't understand things well enough to be comfortable. So. Rixian, welcome to the stream and thank you for the follow. Coincidentally, this is one of your favorite talks. What do we got here? Is this a link I should be opening on stream? Fuck you, pay me. Pretty funny. Deprecated. Use on Linux instead. This module will not receive, is unmaintained, and BSDs. Yeah. It's about freelancers and clients who want to weasel out of paying you. I see. Yeah. Deprecated, use mdlayer packet instead. On Linux instead, this module is unmaintained. Yep. Change or remove the deprecation module in a higher release. It applies to all minor versions of a module. So if I were to ever change my mind, which I won't because I haven't touched this package in years, I would have to tag a 1.0 to get rid of the deprecation. The module is no longer supported to provide migration instructions, for example, to the latest major version. Retract may be more individual. Oh, retract is for retracting, like, for example, a module version that's like broken, like security flaw, right? So. I'm guessing that basically everybody who's using this is using it on Linux, but I know there have been some people who have contributed like little BSD things, but they're welcome to maintain their own libraries, you know. I don't know what else to say at this point. Because like for me, I just supporting packet sockets only makes way more sense. So I suppose are we at the point now where we want to tag a 1.0 for this? I think I have enough experience with this package, like the socket package, you know, between netlink and vsock. Like I think I have enough experience at this point to feel pretty good about tagging a 1.0 even this early, because effectively it works. The APIs won't change because we're implementing net packet con. And we can always choose to do like, you know, zero copy stuff through new API additions if they're incompatible. So net test packet con. Yeah. That's something that is worrisome, I suppose, is whether or not we actually implement the interface properly. However, this is still a net positive over what exists today for the raw package. So I believe we can do everything with this package in an additive fashion at this point, I believe, would be my understanding. So maybe, I mean, I'll need to write more tests too, I suppose, but that's something that is not coupled to a release version at all. So cool. Yeah, I guess we... Shoot, do we tag packet v1.0.0, tag raw v0.1.0, like, you know, that much smaller, and then deprecate? I guess makes sense. I suspect it's going to stir up some trouble, but okay. Slice bounds out of range, help. Yeah, whatever. H2NS should take host endianness into account. You're too tired to have opinions and thinks they'll have consequences. That's funny. Depending on the host endianness, this should be a no-op or not. So we copied this code directly to the packet library, so maybe that's something we want to think about really quick. The problem is this person provided no info. Like, yeah, anyway, doesn't matter. I guess, yeah, for big endian, it would be a no-op, right? So Josh Arian native... I think would be. You're pretty sure we use this at work? Yes, you definitely do, because Lawrence added a PR to the package. So yeah, switch to packet.con. It'll work. It's the same. It's literally the same thing now. Like I don't see any problems. I don't see any reason why you would want to stay on rawcon at this point. So. Yeah, make sure to buy me a coffee to say thanks. That'd be great. I appreciate that. So, native. Oh, yeah, sure thing. The endianness API in Go has some unfortunate side effects, at least with byte buffers. Yeah, totally. This is it's a tricky topic. I mean, you know, more often than not, native endianness is not what you want. You know, so for example, perhaps this person has a point, and maybe I should make it in the packet package. It could just be a bug fix too. I mean, the fact of the matter is, like, people who are using my stuff on big endian have never complained up until that point. So okay, for argument's sake here, let's look at this, right? Let's see. Right, so let's write an endianness test really quick because I'm curious, right? Because, okay, look, I'll be honest here. I've written all kinds of networking code. This kind of stuff, this is black magic to me. Like, I can read it and kind of comprehend, but to be honest, like, I can't, like, parse this expression immediately in my head and just know, oh, that's exactly what that does, you know? So it's like, I'd rather write a test and verify on little endian, we get the right thing, and on big endian, we get the right thing, and then, you know. The issue is that it doesn't have a native endian, so you have to update your own, but you have to update it every time Go supports new arch. Yes, that's why I recommend this Josh Arian native. The netlink package uses this. This is, yeah, Josh. You know, Josh is a Go compiler contributor, so I trust him to keep this up to date. You know, looks like it does need the new build tags, but no biggie. I suppose I could contribute that. Yeah, I used to use an unsafe conversion myself to figure it out, but these days I just use this. Yeah, I trust Josh to get it right. There's an issue about that. It's every time you talk about native end. Okay, so I love Go, but every time you talk about native endianness on the Go issue tracker, somebody links you to some Rob Pike talk that's not helpful, and frankly, it really bothers me because this is something that, like, yes, like, trust me, I need native endian, and like, I know what I'm doing. I'm using Netlink. I need native endian, and you just get the Rob Pike talk anyway, and I've given up, frankly. Like, I just use this package, so it is what it is. Let's see here. So test H2NS. Let's see here. So Pike shakes fist. Yeah. Yeah, it's just, it doesn't feel good to get the Rob Pike talk when you are expressing a legitimate concern. So that's that. That's all I have to say on that topic. It's a good talk. I mean, yes, but it's just really annoying. Oh, okay, maybe it's article. Yeah, I think you're right. It's yeah, but it's still annoying. It's still not what I want. I is less than 0, or yeah. This is silly, but it's a good article to throw at juniors who don't know better, but it's useless when you need to talk to the kernel and know what you're doing. Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, I know better at this point when I'm writing a network protocol. Like, yeah, use big endian because everything else does. Like, I'm very well aware. You know, but yeah. Failed to perform HTMS. So these are going to be uint16. Yeah, so wants ttv got v output. I mean, it also just depends on expectations. At the network layer, big endian always, but if it's like an application facing API, then sure, the conversion to host is nice. Yeah, for sure. You can go the plan 9 route, use plain text, and require everything to parse decimal numbers. Dear Lord. No thanks. Okay, so we're going to do packet internal test.go. So package packet. So plan 9. Plan 9 has some interesting ideas, certainly. Yeah, but plus build Linux only, please. Go my, oh, that's right. I need go compare or go CMP. And actually, I think there's a 057. So if we're in here and I want the latest, so go get latest 057. Okay, tidy. Okay, what do we got? So HV run test h2ns. Okay. Right, tests for everything. Let's see here. So what is Go Watch? Yeah, it's kind of funny. This is really silly. So there are much better things than this, right? Bin, Go Watch. This is a jank little shell thing. I have Go test, and then while I notify wait on every Go file in the directory. Yeah, it ain't great. But let's see, MD layer. I think that I have it actually posted as a gist. zREPL. Anyway, maybe not. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a silly little shell script I have. In fact, I can probably just paste it into Twitch chat. Sorry about the formatting, but it works well enough. I know there are better tools but this does the job. The one annoying thing is if you're working with multiple packages, you got to run go watch in each directory. So like, for example, like I'll work on one package at a time, but it is still useful. So. 0.8, so, right? 80, okay, true, something like that. You meant 16, okay. I need hex. I can't understand decimal, decimal, whatever, so. So I want hex.encode. Yeah, it doesn't cover the replace package local. Yeah. So let's see here. How do I print the hex one of these? Well, I guess I can just do this, right? So %0, %#04x, ttv, got, same thing. Because I want the hex. It's gonna be way easier to read. There we go. You want 0080. But you got right, okay. Fatal F %2x CMP, yeah. Func hex 16 string. Small simplification. Cool. So this is exclusively on little endian, right? So on big endian, this would need to be a no-op, right? So I guess, hang on, what do I do here? So VLE, VBE, right? So just if we want to verify that this works on all the arches, then let's see here. So H2NS, host to network. So wait, for example, I cargo culted this from Mikio Hara like way back. Is there any reason I would use this instead of just like, right? So binary big endian put. Does this allocate, I guess, would be maybe the issue. uint16, and then return. Oh, hang on, this doesn't work, does it? Because you need to return the native. So you store it in big endian, and then and there's an allocation. Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I would prefer not to do that if possible. So I suppose that like I could do a build tag no op thing for this. B 2 bytes. Oh yeah. Oh, so so you're right. If I allocate an array instead of a slice, then it won't escape at all either, will it? So we want to put the big endian representation and then pull it out in native endian, right? Oh, since binary endian is an interface, it escapes. So for those watching at home, we are code golfing here a little bit. This is kind of, it probably doesn't matter in the end, but I'm trying to clean it up a little bit. Oh, so big endian is not an interface in the function inlines. Ah, right. Yeah, so if we call binary big endian directly and then we use an array. I think Dominic's right, actually. Like, I believe I investigated that. You can use the concrete. Yeah, so var b 2 bytes. And then we return, let's see here. So we got to slice into this. But then we need the native, right? So now we have to call the native endian. Isn't that right? So like if I do native endian uint16 b. Is that correct? Did I get that right? TTV, hang on one sec. I feel like that's right because we're taking the native endian representation, we are converting it to big endian, and then we're pulling it out as the native endian from that type. I guess I could do an unsafe cast as well, like it's fine. Instead of pulling in this package. just to keep the Go mod smaller, but... Oh, so you were saying that the binary byte buffer is sad because it tries to use the same approach since it accepts binary endian. Yeah, right. I never use those APIs. I always manage my own buffers. I manage my own slices. Like, yeah, these are interesting, but I don't use them because I feel like this abstraction is not quite. It just feels awkward to me. Just not as much of a fan, I suppose. So. Yeah, I could just YOLO unsafe this too. That would also work. But we'll try. Hang on, let me just verify here really quick. Oh, you know what? I kind of want the John Sherian native anyway because we want to verify which one we're actually checking for, right? So, if native.endian VLE else want equals TT that right, so yeah, it looks cleanish, but if you're really going for light and efficient, it's a no-go. Yeah, totally. So this does appear to work. So this is doing the right thing. Yeah, we're storing this as a big endian and then converting to the native endianness. And then I believe that these functions are smart enough on, let's see here. So binary.go, big endian. Yeah, this seems like it's fine. Sorry, Mikio. Store as big endian, retrieve as native endian. So this should work just fine for both. Depending on our CPU, our Go Arch, this may be, result may be big or little endian. IPv6. I still don't like little endian. I feel like it's confusing. I think that big endian is much easier to read. It feels more natural, but this works. Okay. Maybe a little bit of a silly thing to write a test for, but now we actually have verified that everything is as we would expect. Oh, you know what? Can't I? Hang on a sec. For %s Go Arch. Native.endian.string. Yeah. Little endian and big endian both make sense in different contexts. Little endian sucks to read. Yes. Big endian sucks to index byte-wise. Yeah, I think that's exactly it, is that like I am used to trying to read the like byte dumps, and that's where big endian is so much easier. But yeah. So just if we mess this up really quick. Oh. Unexpected output for little endian. Yeah. So whichever machine it's running on now, it'll pass either way. Yeah, store as big endian, retrieve as native endian. That's exactly what we want. Packet, verify H2NS on both big and little endian. That's a good thing to keep track of. So I'll probably end up just like archiving this, like we were saying. I like closing these issues. Slice bounds out of range. Oh, so yeah, BSD. Yeah, sorry. Not yeah. Add an example. Help wanted. PR is welcome, although frankly the interface exposed is identical to the standard NAT packet con. Oh, somebody did add a send to PR. Oops. Yeah, it's con says call con, nobody, yeah. Git tags, maclayer multicast group joining, set multicast, zero copy Windows, and there's a bunch of PRs for this, but support Linux sock dgram on BSD. Yikes. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of let this one fall by the wayside, to be honest. Like, that's on me a little bit, but is what it is, I suppose. I think everything else would be purely additive. I don't think there's any other major bugs in the Linux stuff. Like, now that we verified the NDNS thing, I think anything else would be additive, and we're probably okay to archive. So probably go ahead and do that fairly quick here. Did the GitHub Actions actually pass for the new test in Packet? Should verify. I have this bad habit of like tagging releases without making sure CI passed, and that has gotten me in trouble a couple of times. Okay. Skip. There we go. 1248. All right, cool. We're doing good. We're doing good. Listen for IPv6 traffic stuff. Little example there. 2022 packet internal test. Let's see here. Hey, empty layer, is anyone using Ethernet these days where everyone is in the cloud? It's for informational only. So I can't tell if you're making a joke, but like, yeah, I mean, people use this. Like, I personally have written a DHCP server using this code as well as other things. So yeah, I mean, like, definitely your typical person who's like writing an AWS app. Oh, you don't mean to make a joke. Yeah. So like your typical person writing like an AWS application, they probably have like a web API or some UDP thing. But yeah, people do use Ethernet sockets for sure. They're definitely a lot more rare, but certainly these are used for interesting purposes. So I myself have done things like ATA over Ethernet, DHCP v4, ARP directly. And yeah, this has been used in quite a few places actually. It's in production at DigitalOcean for sure. I guess, Mark Pash was here and he mentioned that they're using this at work at Cloudflare too. So yeah, people certainly use it. You can't tell if it means these sockets or Ethernet as a whole. That's why I was wondering if it was a joke at first. But yeah, like, the packet sockets, yeah, certainly they are used. They're much more rare, of course. You mean layer 2? Yeah, certainly. Yeah, Mark confirms that they are using, yeah. Yep. Pretty cool, huh? How do you think the cloud communicates? Yeah, I mean, like, ultimately the Linux kernel can handle a lot of that stuff for you, but sometimes you have to drop down to that layer to get access to everything you need. The work I did at DigitalOcean was pretty interesting because basically I ended up building a connection type all the way up from Ethernet, IPv4, UDP, and DHCP v4, and it was based on the Linux packet sockets, and you could actually set every single field in all those headers. So like, we had to do some really tricky things with like Ethernet and like, some of the IP layer stuff. So I built a net packet con that could set every one of those headers, which is pretty cool. How do you think the cloud communicates? Wi-Fi. Well, I should get that as one of my emotes. That would be pretty funny, wouldn't it? Okay. Yeah, so I feel pretty good about all this. I think I'm kind of tempted to tag a 1.0 with just what we have today, This was for doing DHCP. Yes, I did DHCP at DigitalOcean. DHCP v4 using this package, or using, the raw package, but the same idea. I did DHCP v4 at DigitalOcean, and also we did gratuitous ARPs over the network to make the switches update their neighbor tables if we were to move a droplet from hypervisor to hypervisor. That code hopefully is long dead because that was a symptom of a bigger problem, but Yes, the DHCP server, if you're on DigitalOcean and you spin up a droplet that's a custom image, it uses DHCP. I wrote that, and you're going through my Go code, which is pretty cool. So, MDev HCI, welcome to the stream. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Yeah, let's go ahead and just tag a release, I suppose. So go over to vsock because I've been maintaining that pretty recently with tags and stuff. So let's see here. Uh, 112 plus changelog. Thank you very much for that. Much appreciated. Yeah, not a problem. I'm always happy to share stuff. So like, for example, if you go to the, well, right now the raw package, but used by 279, like these are all people who are importing my library in some way. And probably what I will do is, as a kind of like a goodwill thing, I'll go to some of the bigger ones. So for example, like if Cilium is actually using the raw package, I'll probably just send them a PR to switch over to Packet. Because I want to get some big users moved over, because that way I can verify that things all work as we expect. Certainly, Mark is going to talk to the folks at Cloudflare too, which is good. NetSpy, yeah, there's a few Cube OVN, cool stuff using this, all kinds of random projects, it would seem. And these are only the public ones, so. All right, changelog. Package is only supported on Go 112 plus. Yes. Oh, it's in your project, so you're going to make a PR. Nice, Mark. It should be functionally equivalent. Basically, you got to change the names for a couple of things. And if you happen to be using the cumulative stats thingy, the option, you're going to have to do that yourself. I just don't want to. I don't want to deal with it. I'd rather support a more low-level API. Is this going to use generics? I was kind of wondering, me and generics. I was kind of wondering, honestly, about implementing generics in the netlink package possibly for attribute encoding, and actually the socket package would kind of make sense too. There's something I kind of wanted to investigate, but because right now there's lots of like copy paste closure code that basically returns some generic T. So I was thinking about that, but no, I haven't actually gotten there yet. So initial stable commit. Let's see here. API is mostly a direct translation of the previous github.com MD layer raw package APIs with some updates to make everything focused explicitly on Linux and AF packet sockets. Functionally, the two packages should be equivalent, and rawcon is now backed by packetcon in the latest version of that library anyway. Yep. Go generics are interesting, so honestly, anything to make the language feel more expressive. Yeah, certainly. I think that would be... I look forward to generics. Like having written both Go and Rust a decent amount, there are things that you really miss coming back to Go. Certainly enums are one of them. That's really the biggest thing, like enum and match. But generics will be nice for some circumstances as well, for sure. Raw is used by a lot of huge projects like Weaveworks, MetalLB, GitHub. Yeah, for sure. I knew about MetalLB. I originally helped with that a long time back. I was not aware of the other ones, but certainly those are things I'll have to check out. Some updates to make everything focused explicitly on Linux and AF packet sockets. Functionally, the two packages should be equivalent. Two packages are equivalent, and raw packcon is now backed by packetcon in the latest version of that library anyway, of the raw package. Cool. Yeah, let's tag a 1.0, right? So might as well. I don't think I have never ever made a package and tagged a 1.0 2 days later. That doesn't really happen. But this was a long time coming, and now that I've done this with vsock and netlink, I feel a lot less scared. I guess that's really what it comes down to. So, okay. Maybe, maybe what I should do is, I guess I should probably add like an analogous README update here, like something along the lines of, hang on. README, let's see here, package packet provides access to Linux packet sockets. So history. One of my first major Go networking projects was layer raw. Which provided access to Linux AF packet sockets and BSD equivalent. Hey, what's up, Gary Onion? Welcome back. Mechanisms for sending and receiving Ethernet frames. Over time, the use of that package grew. So let's see here. Because one of my first major Go networking projects was MD Layer Raw, which provided access to Linux AF packet sockets and BSD equivalent mechanisms for sending and receiving Ethernet frames. However, the Star BSD APIs languished and never and I lack the expertise to properly maintain them for operating systems I do not use on a daily basis. Package packet. You're wondering when IOU ring will come to Go. You're tempted to scratch that itch, but no time so far. Yeah, there have been some experiments with using IOU ring. Probably the proper place to do it would be in the runtime network polar, if it makes sense, because that is certainly the where it would have the widest impact. But that being said, I have no idea how compatible the APIs are with some of what exists today for like netcon, netpacketcon, etc. It would be interesting, yes. I don't have any expertise, so I'm not sure if there's any work being done there. Can be thought of as raw v2.0, but focused. Can be thought package packet is a spiritual successor to package raw, but exclusively focused. Will I update Ethernet and ARP to move from raw? Yeah, certainly. Stuff I own, I will. I haven't touched either one of those in quite a long time, but yes, I will update my own packages as I come across them. And I will probably, like I was saying, I'll try to send PRs to some of the bigger users as well. Like Metal LB would be a good one to start with, or Cilium, if they actually are using it, would be a good one too. Should you send the PR? Yeah, certainly, that'd be great if you'd like to. That would be awesome. I'd be happy to look and merge. I'm gonna tag a 1.0 pretty soon here, so it'd be nice just to get 1.0 right away. So if you want to wait maybe just a couple of minutes, or you can pull what we have right now. I'm not gonna change the APIs, and then just do a go mod up or a go get for 1.0 in a few. That would be good too. Certainly, I would really appreciate that. Exclusive focused on Linux and its AF packet sockets. This package is backed by Linux and AF packet sockets. The APIs are nearly identical, but with a few changes to improve the experience. Few changes to which take into account some of the lessons learned while working on raw. Users are highly encouraged to migrate any existing uses of raw, existing Linux uses of raw to this. You checked Metal LB and they use ARP and Ethernet, so raw is indirect. Yeah, so I think they actually, so it would be ARP would be the one that needs to update there, because Ethernet I don't think actually imports raw, unless maybe one like the test commands does, but it shouldn't import raw for the library itself. So ARP would be the place to start there, because ARP definitely does use it. To package packet instead. BSD support language. I lack the expertise to properly maintain the code for I lack the expertise and time to properly maintain code for operating systems I do not use on a daily basis. I feel like that's fair. Some of them were indirect links. So you were seeing, oh, source graph. That's a good call. Source graph would be a good place to look for sure. Let's check that out. Cilium, indirect. AdGuard, direct. Interesting. Metal LB, indirect. Talos, router 7. Yeah, go crazy. It's used in a lot of places for sure. For sure. This package will be supported for the foreseeable future and will receive continued updates exclusively focused on Linux support. And we'll receive continued updates as necessary. Okay, so I've got our little diatribe here, v1.0. Changelog, release v1.0.0. Okay. Git tag. Git push tags. It's going to be a real shame if I break this immediately. I don't think I will. It's the same API as raw. And we can do everything in an additive fashion, so. Okay. Okay, at v1.0.0. Copium. Yeah, I'm always afraid. Hey, Mark, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub. I certainly appreciate that. Thank you for thanks for your support. By the way, did you know if you have Twitch Prime? Hey, what's up, Jimmy? Good to see you. Picking up more and more folks as the day goes on. I guess we're a little later now for the West Coast folks as well. It's like 10 a.m. there instead of 7 a.m. or whatever when I started. Come on. Pick it up. Yeah, I can't think of any. Hey, Bolt, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub as well. I certainly appreciate that. Thank you for your support. You just learned about the Prime thing. You're not sure what it does for me, but have fun with it. Yeah, so basically a Twitch Prime sub allows you to watch my channel without ads. I apologize for the ads. It's nice just to get like a little bit of income from Twitch, I suppose. But because I'm a Twitch affiliate, you're making sure that the memes continue to work. Nice. Yeah, so you get access to my emotes, which are super funny hand-drawn things. Like, for example, MD layer. Yeah, exactly. It gives Matt 250. Yes, that's true. Yeah, but I certainly appreciate it. Yeah, it's a way to support the stream. There are no ads, and supports me. So thank you. I appreciate it. And it's nice because Twitch will pay out every time you hit $100. Yeah, totally. And I basically funnel my money back into like supporting folks like Dominic. So that's cool too. Okay, come on. This has been okay. There we go. I just didn't reload the page. All right, 1.0.0. Changelog, history. Yo, everybody sub. So like every few months at least for you. Oh, Bolt, you stream as well? Nice, okay. Bolt, are you by chance a programming streamer? Because I would love to have more programming streamer folks to raid. That would be great. Wait, so whose coffee did I just buy? Technically, you bought it from me. So Amazon gets some money too, but Dominic, you don't drink coffee? That's sad, man. It's good. Coffee is good stuff. Type con. Oh man, I just had a horror situation. Packet.go. Okay. Okay, we do implement net packet con. Okay. For a moment, I was like very concerned that if I made a mistake on one of these and I didn't implement packet con properly, that would mean an immediate breaking change. Oh, you stream a lot of games, but you dabble in code. Nice. I will shoot you a follow. Cool. Let's see really quick. Yeah, I think something I am trying to do is I am trying to make an effort. I'm trying to make an effort to find more folks on Twitch to be able to send raids to and stuff, because like, my gaming streamers don't really care about a random programmer stream stuff. But it's like if we can find more and more programmers on Twitch to raid, like build that community, that's really cool. Like yesterday I was watching somebody doing some Rust and I got sent to another person. Jeez. TLDR, it's cool. Anyway, let's see here. You did a Minecraft clone stream a year or so ago that lasted months. Nice. That sounds dope. I've never done like 3D graphics. I bet that would be really interesting. Matt, no offense, but you saying that coffee is good carries as much weight as a meth addict trying to tell me the merits of meth. I think coffee is a little healthier than meth, but point taken. Are there any Go streams you can recommend? Yeah, certainly. So Large Databank streams every Fridays. He works for CockroachDB and does lots of cool Go stuff. Stoppelberg had previously streamed a few times. I don't think he's streamed in a while. There are a few folks, I believe if you look on my profile page, it's like MDLayer recommends these streamers. Demsky is another one. But I think a lot of folks don't stream on a regular basis. Certainly, I don't necessarily either. If I could do this as part of my job, I would love to, but I don't work on anything open source at the moment. However, that might change. CockroachDB and PlanetScale, heck yeah. Yeah, Jordan is, Jordan/Large Databank. Yeah, I certainly appreciate him, appreciate his stream. The work you folks are doing is great. So, very cool, You are truly the extreme variety streamer, so you don't hold audiences very well. I gotcha. You were a backend engineer in AAA games for 13 years. You decided your blood pressure could no longer survive the stress, so you moved on to enterprise. Yeah, my first job was at like a game studio, backend stuff, and I'll never work in games again. It was not great for a variety of reasons, but it was not great. Matthew hasn't streamed in a long time. Yeah, Demsky, yeah, it's sad. He hasn't been streaming in a while. I know for a little bit there was I think there was some concerns about like kind of like the prioritization of work in the Go project, and I'm not sure what came of that. But I know that he was considering stopping streaming because of that, so I guess we'll see. Teach Dev streams Go sometimes. Okay, good to know. Jordan M. Demsky, yep, for sure. Planet Roach, or jeez. Overworked, underpaid, all the sadness, but the work is always fun and interesting. That was exactly my experience too. Like both, literally all of those things. It was good. It helped me get my foot in the door, but when I went to DigitalOcean and realized that even at a startup, like things were a lot less insane, frankly, it was a much better experience. I'll never go back. You wish Francesco Campoy would bring back Just for Funk. That was top tier. Yeah, Just for Funk was great too. We were considering. Oh yes, I was messing with this yesterday, but I think Emre Kambadi is sending a PR, so I will wait on that one. Is there anything else I can update in the meantime? There's like my ATA over Ethernet package, which is silly. Just for Funk, yeah, exactly. It is a great name. Conserve, Corrad. I don't think any of my other immediate projects are using packet sockets. So the socket package is a dependency. The ARP, Metal LB. Yeah. Cool. You know what? I can just click this, can't I? So, shoot, now that this has been tagged, I guess I could tag the deprecated release of Raw. If you like Rust or very irregular 10-hour sessions of hacking, writing custom firmware for your oscilloscope, check out Gamozo. Oh, that sounds cool. You got me interested. I do like Rust, for sure. I'm not good at Rust yet, but... Well, actually, I think I've gotten a lot better. Actually, I think that the NDP project or NBD network block device project I did is an indicator that like I know what I'm doing at this point. I think it feels pretty good. But do we have many pair programming streamers? Not really. I've done a few pairing streams. Like I've done one with Stoppelberg. I've done it with Frederick Branzik. Not often. It's kind of hard to get people together, and then you have to like set up like a Zoom call or something, and there's latency between the different streams. It just ends up being kind of a pain in the neck. Does the world have many pair programmers? No, probably not. Something I have considered doing though is that like, we do streams where it's like I can hop on like a voice chat with somebody and like we review their code and like, kind of talk through it. You've done a few with Barrick in the past. It works well over Discord. Yeah, totally. Let me see if I can find that link I was talking about for the recommends. I'm not sure at this point then. MD layer, about maybe. Okay, maybe it's not there. I'm sorry, but yeah, there are a few other folks in the Go community. Maybe if you go to like my follows or something. I'm not totally sure. Sorry. You are thinking about streaming your journey of learning Rust. The one thing that turns you off about Rust is the lifetime syntax. Yeah, it can be tough, but I got used to it kind of. So let's see. Let's pull up this project. It's been a bit. Now we're just doing all kinds of random stuff. Let's see. Transmit. Figuring out this stuff, like the generic bounds for read, write, and then stream. Like this was tough, but pretty cool. I had a lot of fun. Yeah, let's not. I'm not in a Rust mood at the moment. Oh, what's up? I can buy some followers and all right, cool. You're gonna get a ban. So sorry, bot. Block. Oh no, never mind. I don't want to block. I want to ban. Where's my mod view? Am I not in? I thought I had the mod view in the. Interesting. Well. Settings. Where is... Hey, Dominic, I'm going to make you a mod. Unable to... Shoot. Thanks for hanging out, Simone. I appreciate it. You're already a moderator. Oh, is it unable? Okay, anyway. Yeah. Oh, actually, I can do this, can't I? /ban... there we go. I forgot I can do that. Anyway, cool. Yeah, thanks Simone for hanging out. I appreciate it. You have to un-VIP Dominic to mod him. Interesting. Well, I think it worked now. But yeah, there is a you can use like the / command, so I just did that. Yeah. Rust is reported. Nice. Okay. Rust is fun. I do enjoy doing it as well, but it definitely requires like different like brain cells. It's time for me to squeeze 9 bars on some magic bean juice. Coffee, let's go. Coffee's good, man. So this structure, this is one thing I was curious about. These counters are all UN32s. Now I'm stuck with that because I tagged 1.0, but I guess that's fine because that's the native type anyway. So as long as it's not Scala. I'm not a functional programming person, I can tell you that. Scala admittedly broke your brain. Sounds about right. Yeah, functional programming doesn't really mesh with my head. It's, I don't know. I have a hard enough time with Nix and my Nix OS stuff, let alone anything else. Is there anything else I could be forgetting? 30 minutes later, I guess I'm stuck with that. Yeah, that's true. That's basically what it is. The thing is that like I can change all the internals as much as I want. It's just the API. And I think tagging a 1.0 is going to make people a lot more likely to jump ship. So used by MD layer raw. That's hilarious. All right. Yeah, let's deprecate this guy. Deprecated, use MD layer. I'll say this package is unmaintained. Don't lie about taking my VIP or I'll ban you. Well, yeah, now that you're a mod, you lost VIP, which is a weird thing. But Mods have more power anyway. When you think more about the code than what the code does, it's a problem. Yes, I agree. The code should be obvious. I completely agree with you. Okay, let's see here. We'll put the same comments everywhere. So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna tag like an 0.1.0 or something and just say gone. Deprecate, deprecate, deprecate. Yeah, because the APIs are literally equivalent. It's just that I'm opening a packet con underneath. I convert between the address types, that's it. And then call everything else exactly as is, except for this handler. But I've already decided I don't want to maintain that anymore. So, okay. As far as I can tell, we are good to deprecate. So, raw tag v0.0.0, or let's see here. So, release v0.0 deprecated. So we're going to use Go modules here to hopefully get people to migrate, which will be good. Get push tags. A little scary to tag any kind of release for this because it's so old. I'm afraid of people are going to jump out of the woodwork at me, but I guess we'll see. Please see the recommended replacement package for Linux is package for Linux is Windows support when? Never. Literally never now. Delete this, nephew. Which, and a v1.0.0 for that package has been tagged stable release. Good deal. I suspect this is going to cause some people to be upset with me. I suppose we will see. Deprecated. Please do not. Please migrate to Layer packet on Linux. All I can do is just point people in as many ways as possible, and then eventually I can just archive the repo. I'm not going to archive immediately because well, okay. If I archive immediately, what happens? Do people like lose the ability to like complain on this repo or something? That might be a positive. You know, like, I don't know. Yes, so, all right. They can't file issues or send PRs. Yeah. Because if somebody comes over to a new repo and complains about BSD support, then I'll just say, you're welcome to create a new repo, and I'll close it. Schedule workflow, stop running, code scanning, update settings, close all open issues and pull requests, making a note. Yep, okay. All right, gang, end of an era. Archived, archived, archived. So you found a bug in raw. Oh, that feels good. It feels good to do that. So this is setting socket options. Yeah, we ended up doing this. The subspace folks ended up adding SOL socket control. Yeah, because the packet things. Oh, so they were trying to do T packet. Yeah, okay. So this got worked out actually. So, alrighty. Release v1.0.0 deprecated. Been tagged. Okay, cool. You know what? We done it. We done did it. And I feel like that's a good way to end the stream, honestly. So I feel pretty good about the work we've done today. I think the packet package is going to be certainly the way forward. Yeah, so check this out. And we put raw to bed. So I'm pretty happy about that. Thank you all so much for hanging out. I certainly appreciate it. Let's see. Before I forget, I keep forgetting. Let's see if we can raid anybody. Oh, we got a couple of folks doing software development. Hang on one sec. I want to find somebody to send a raid to really quick. So we have Anthony Writes Code, who is working on... Soding is making a compiler. I have no idea what language. Anthony Writes Code. Let's see here. Making a compiler, that sounds pretty interesting. So we're going to send it right over to Soding or T-Soding. That's going to be fun. So, all right. Thank you all so much. I certainly appreciate it. Let's see here. Let's get that raid going. And I will see you over in that stream. So, thanks so much, everyone. Appreciate it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. All right. Later.